What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Q&A. Thanks for joining. Hope you've had a fantastic weekend. What the hell is going on here? What's this? Hello, everyone. I'll deal with my computer noises and whatever and whatnot while you join and ask and start asking your goddamn questions. That's Ray Gigant. PS Vita turn-based RPG dungeon crawler in first person. It was exclusive for the PS Vita until it was released also on Steam. It's a good game. Never finished it. Maybe I will one day, but you know how I feel about dungeon crawlers in first person. I just can't bring myself to finish most of them. I think the only ones that I finished are Persona Q, the first one, and Soul Hackers, both on the 3DS, and I think that's it. Others I've made it pretty far. Well, no, not really. I've played a crap ton of them, especially like, I don't know, the first 2, 3, 4 hours, you know, just to be able to maybe recommend them in a couple of videos. But I don't cover them often, unless it's about, you know, the hardest this or the hardest that, like Darkspire. That game was a freaking nightmare. Remember when I first played it, I was like, okay, you know, it looks like a Western RPG, even though it's not. It's a Japanese game by company Success, who developed a crap ton of really difficult games, including Rondo of Swords and Operation Darkness on the 360. And I played it for like, I don't know, probably 2-3 hours. And the first 30 minutes, the game was fine. And then it went straight up bonkers with the difficulty. And as I kept advancing, you know, I just really wanted to get a feel of the difficulty. And finally get to that point where I will probably rage quit. Well, I didn't rage quit on the game because I know it was just too freaking hard. And all I did was like turn the game off. And I was like, yeah, this is too fucking difficult. And since it's not my type of game, it's just not worth my time, you know. But it may be worth your time if you're into dungeon crawlers. The game's got a lot of personality. The graphics are freaking unique. Very comic-ish. And the music is phenomenal. That battle theme is one of the best battle themes of all time in the history of video games, in my opinion. But yeah, others, you know, the Etrian Odyssey, I never got into them. You know, I played a couple of them. Never really got into them. I played others like Strange Journey, I made it far. Never beat it because freaking Labyrinth drove me crazy. But yeah, it's just dungeon crawlers. Labyrinth of Refrain, anybody heard of that? That's a game I really want to give it a second chance. I think I've only put like 2 hours into it, which is why I probably covered the game like 2 videos in my entire career. I want to put more hours into that game. It looks very fun and kind of unique. Maybe I'll be able to get into it, but nope. I doubt it. Class of Heroes 1 and 2. The second one was kind of like, no. The first one was pretty generic and meh, you know. And then there's Zanki Zero. That's a game that I thought for sure I will probably finish and get into it because the story is messed up, it's dark, it's like, you know, psychological and shit, and probably put like 10 to 12 hours into it, and I gave up. I abandoned it. I didn't give up. I abandoned the game, and then I moved on to other games, so maybe I will come back to that game one day. That's a game I really want to finish, Zanki Zero. But it's just so hard for me, you know, dungeon crawlers in first person. Probably wondering at this point why I don't like them. What's my problem with dungeon crawlers in first person? First and foremost, I just don't feel comfortable playing on first person. Probably because all of those first person shooters from the PS1, PS2 era drove me nuts when it comes to paying attention to what was going on. They were stressful. I often got a headache. You know, I may have, I don't know, sensitive eyesight, probably. And I just get confused. I feel really uncomfortable playing anything on first person. And the second is that 9 out of 10 dungeon crawlers, actually 10 out of 10, no, 9 out of 10, there are exceptions. 9 out of 10 have random encounters. So the combination of something that naturally annoys me with another thing that also naturally annoys me, that mix, is kind of like, it drives me mad. So I think that's the reason why I don't like them. And plus, there's a third reason. And I think most of you would agree with this. And I think it's the universal reason why a lot of people can't get into them. Because most people, random encounters, they're fine. Playing on first person, it's okay. But this third reason is like universal. And it's that these games are extremely repetitive. Like 80% of the time you're just doing that dungeon crawling, There's nothing to break you from that. And, I don't know, take the gameplay into a different direction for a short period of time. There's barely any town interaction. And sometimes the games have a crap ton of dialogue, so you end up with a crap ton of dialogue, and dungeon crawling, it's like the same and the same and the same and the same, and it's just, yeah. So they're kind of annoying. It's a genre that I just can't get into it, but I've played a crap ton, believe it or not. Most of them for the sake of this channel, so I can be able to talk about the other JRPGs and, I don't know, new things that, while I may not be able to get into, maybe you will. That's why I can't get into dungeon crawlers, hard as I try. But there are some out there that are really good. Thank you, J.A. He said they put that Pokemon roguelike RPG on the GBA Switch library. It's not bad, even if you don't care about Pokemon. Keep up the good work, Eric. I may be a little bit more open. Can you hear anything? Oh, there we go. Yeah, this is from Panzer Dragoon Saga. Like, what the fuck? I may have accidentally muted my earphones. Anyway, so I've never played the Game Boy Advance one. I played one on the Nintendo DS, Mystery Dungeon, which is part of the Mystery Dungeon series. Same. Roguelike are another genre that for some reason I can't get into. The main reason why I can't get into roguelikes, and I don't think I've ever finished one, unlike dungeon crawlers, I finished a couple of them, Persona Q and Soul Hackers. But roguelikes, I don't think I ever finished a single one of them. I made it far in some of the Shit and the Wonder games, which are my favorites. But I just keep dying, messing up, and going back to the beginning. That's what kills them for me. They are also very repetitive, but for some reason I find them more entertaining and fun than the dungeon crawlers, even though they're just as repetitive. I don't know, I guess the randomness of every floor and finding different items and different monsters and leveling up as you go along, I find that pretty interesting and appealing and fun. But what kills every single roguelike for me, including the Pokemon games or even the Chocobo games, which are the easy ones, are the same reason why what kills them for most of you. Like, you die and it's back to the freaking beginning, level 1, every single penny lost, every single item lost, and it's like, oh my god. And sometimes you're like, I need to get to this other dungeon, but to get to that other dungeon where I died, I need to refight or replay this other dungeon first, like Shit and the Wonder on the PS Vita. That was the same, man. I was like, dude, why can't I just die? Or if I die, why can't I just, teleport back to the other dungeon, so I don't have to do the dungeon in the middle, which is called Destiny Trail. Again, why are you forcing me to play that dungeon again? Why? I think it's short. It's like 7 floors, you beat in like 10 minutes, right? But it's 10 minutes you don't want to spend doing the same fucking dungeon over and over again just to get to the other one where you died. So, yeah. That's what kills roguelikes for me. Everything else is fine. Some of them have really interesting stories, actually. And the graphics, the Shit and the Wonder graphics, they're phenomenal graphics, They remind me of the 16-bit era. They look beautiful. The one on the Wii is pretty good looking. The Vita one of the best. But, yeah, man, it's just... dying, going back, is like the old NES games, You die at this stage 8... and then game over and back to the freaking beginning, man. Everything lost. It's just, I don't want to do that. Because I did that so many times when I was little, and I developed this kind of OCD with those types of games. So roguelikes remind me of that. So anyway, have fun playing the Pokemon game, JA. I won't. Black Myth Wukong sold 10 million copies in the first 3 days, and basically most gaming journalists' websites are angry at the game's success. Of course, because most gaming journalists' websites... Didn't you watch my video from 2 days ago? I pretty much... The whole point of the video, just like with the first video from like a year and a half ago, was to trash websites, was to trash journalists. Because journalists have always been like... There are some that I respect, you know, some that actually make a point, some that you read or watch and you're like, this person really did play the game and he didn't like it, you know. But others are like, oh, it's just this game is not like Persona 4. It's not like Final Fantasy X, so 5 out of 10. And those are 9 out of 10 journalists, right? So I'm not surprised most of them are either woke or straight up fucking stupid, man. But I unfortunately can't defend the Black Myth Wukong because I haven't played it. It's not like I can jump in the hype train and say, hey, yeah, I agree with all of those gamers, you know, it's amazing, it's an amazing game, you know. No, I haven't played it. Maybe I will one day. I want to support the game, but right now I can't have an opinion of it. But I'm glad a game that stood up against political bullshit and defied in public sweet fucking baby is selling a hell of a lot. But I think you may have gotten it wrong. 10 million copies in the first 3 days? I don't think so. More like 10 million people were playing it. But maybe... I'm confused, you know. It's just 10 million copies sold in the first 3 days. That's... I mean, not even Square Enix does that, man. Not even... Sometimes not even Capcom. Or... I don't know, EA even. So 10 million copies is kind of weird. Are you sure you got your information straight? Anyway, I probably missed a crap ton of comments and questions. You heard 10 million too. Most of the Wukong sales is from China. Okay, so 10 million is kind of like... There's been a lot of screenshots that I've seen, you know, like there's a lot of millions of people playing or interested in the game on Steam, right? But like 10 million copies sold in 3 days? That's... Come on, man. 10 million sold, it's true? It's just really hard to believe, you know. A lot of Chinese people played it. Yeah, I get that. So, well, it makes sense if a lot of Chinese people played it. There's like, you know, the most populated country in the world. Where it's like 1.5 billion people. Like more than 10% of planet Earth are Chinese. 10 million, I mean, wow. 10 million copies in 3 days. Well, like you guys are saying, you know, it's most of the copies sold come from China. Okay, so okay, it makes sense, right? It makes sense considering the huge amount of people living there. You know, gotcha. Okay, but I still, okay, I believe you guys, but I still find it hard to believe. Like, oh, it's unbelievable. India nowadays has more population. Yeah, because for decades it used to be China. But now it's India. China is on the second place. Unbelievable, huh? Indians and Chinese are gonna take over the world. 10 million is 10 million no matter who bought them. Well, yeah. But it's not like... I feel like people are trying to make a point with it. Like 10 million, you're in your face, wokeness. In your face, BlackRock and all of those pink fucking companies. I almost swore in English, in Spanish. Anyway, so I'm happy for it. I'm happy. I wish, you know, Stellar Blade could have sold 10 million easily had it been released in different platforms. But no, it had to be a fucking PS5 exclusive. Had it been released at least on Steam, it would have sold like 5 million copies in like 1 week. I guarantee that. So all these video game companies that want to fight wokeness need to do what Black Myth Wukong did. Like release your game across all platforms and just give the world the modern politics of the middle finger. A lot of people are doing that. There's hope. I'm starting to see some hope. You know? I'm starting to see some hope that more and more people in the entertainment industry are standing up and giving the middle finger to all of this, because it needs to fucking die, man. Because we all know what their true intentions are. The politicians, the corporations, they don't give a shit about your ideals, your beliefs, or your culture. No, they give a fuck about communism. That's all they give a shit about. Control, communism, which is basically a nasty, extremely evil and corrupted capitalism, merely disguised as communism. These guys don't even give a shit about communism. All they do is mass control and fill their fucking pockets. The history of politics in the world. Never changed. It never will change. But is Wukong receiving the same treatment as Stellar Blade? Treatment in terms of what? Do you prefer Chinese or Korean RPGs? I prefer Japanese RPGs. I don't know, I feel like I need to play more Chinese and Korean. I've played a bunch of them, but not enough to make a proper comparison and decide which ones I like more. My problem with Chinese RPGs is that most of them are like Genshin Impact. You know, all of those free-to-play massive games, you know, they're like free-to-play, and I'm not into those games. I don't care if they sell 10 million copies, you know. I don't care, you know, I just don't care for those games. I see a lot of comments about my t-shirt. You've never seen this before? Yeah, it's a funny one. It's a cool one. Lots of fucked up stuff in it. Yeah, Nightmare sits in there. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's got a lot of fucked up. The only thing I don't like is this stupid rose thing, you know, but yeah. Yeah, it's messed up. I like it too. It's a good t-shirt. With Wukong, you can grind and farm and get so overpowered. It's truly a great action RPG. I'll play it at some point. So I have a few questions, you know. Do you have party members in Black Myth Wukong? Or is it just the monkey guy? Dunsk. You shouldn't give two fucks about how a game is reviewed by journalists. Forget about that, man. I just proved 2 days ago that journalists are trash. Most of them. Wukong is just the monkey guy. No party members. So is it a Souls-like? I've seen people before, and I've asked this question before. People told me that. No, not really. But maybe just the boss fights, right? The fuck are we hearing? Demon Gaze? Oh, the battle theme. Yeah, it's this lolly singing. You can turn into some of the things you fight for a short time. You can transform it like into monsters. Oh, okay, that's interesting. It's more like Devil May Cry and Final Fantasy 16 than Souls-like. You mean the controls, right? Okay. Not really a Souls-like. Okay. You don't lose anything when you die. Okay, Wukong has a lot of boss fights. But it is more Souls-like than people say. It is challenging. Does it have, I don't know, is it open world? It's just, the game, I want to support it, but it has a lot of my usual flags, red flags, you know. Open world, Souls-like, no party members. It's just not the type of video game I play, right? Oh, it's linear with a few open zones. Oh, okay. One less red flag for me. Okay. Alright. It's not open world. The paths are very linear and the backgrounds look all the same. Okay. Souls-like is just action RPG? Not true. Play Ys, play Tales, play Star Ocean. None of those are Souls-like and they're successful action RPGs. Okay, lots of invisible walls. Oh, okay. So apparently, it's just most people are saying that it's challenging, but it's not really a Souls-like. I like that. No, not an open world. Okay, I like that. And linear, story-driven. Okay. So is it basically Journey to the West, right? I mean, you play as technically Goku. I mean, not Goku from Dragon Ball Z, like Goku from the story of Journey to the West. Right? Okay. I'll see if I can get my hands on it, one of these days. Once the price drops. If it was released across different platforms, it won't be long before the price drops and I'll get it. Unlike Stellar Blade, which is going to take fucking forever to drop in price, apparently. Alright, so... looks like I'll be able to get into Wukong. Thanks for the recommendation. I'll get it. Be patient, Did you know that Final Fantasy 16 is extremely demanding even on PC? Demanding like it's... oh, I get it. Like it's like 10,000 gigabytes and stuff like that. I mean, of course, it was a game designed by the powerful, almighty PS5. But you shouldn't give a shit about it. I don't recommend that game. It's woke. Do you speak Spanish? Yes, I do. I'm from Mexico. Trails in the Sky trilogy. Do you see that happening in consoles? It's up to Exit Games. They own the rights. They're bringing Odin Felgana, the Odin Felgana next year. If it succeeds, they may consider Trails in the Sky, hopefully. I mean, the Trail series is very successful nowadays. My only fear is that after what NIS America did to Trails Through Daybreak, Exit might go the same route, hopefully not. But if Exit Games leaves the localization intact, that they themselves did 10, 15 years ago, then we're gonna be fine. Hopefully they won't retranslate it for modern audiences, because games like Black Myth Wukong have proven to the world that nobody fucking wants that. Can you recommend games closest to the GBA Fire Emblems? In the GBA or in other platforms? Because there's Onimusha Tactics, which is a bit different. That game is more like in the Tactics Ogre vein, but it's a grid-based strategy RPG as well. There's also, oh, you know what you're probably gonna like? I think the closest I can think to Fire Emblem, but it's science fiction. It's just the setting and the story that changes a lot drastically. Nothing like Fire Emblem, but the gameplay mechanics and the map design are quite similar, and that's Super Robot Tyson Original Generation 1 and 2, also on the Game Boy Advance. Check those games out. You need advice for Chrono Cross. I'm stuck on the Garai boss fight. I keep dying even with having debuffs on him. So I need to know what your party is right now. So you, besides Lynx, what are your other two party members? You're gonna have to take Harley out of that boss fight. I died a lot too because I had Harley. And like Garai is one of the hardest bosses in the game. Yeah, you're gonna have to equip a lot of items that are like, Well, okay, my first advice is to go and fight some random battles to see if some of your characters can get stats up. You won't be able to level up. You can grind in Chrono Cross. But you can grind sometimes for a few stats. And once you get capped, just buy the best white... I mean, Garai is white element, right? Just buy a crap ton of items of magic spells from the opposite element. And keep trying to make that field black so you can do massive spells or the most powerful black spells against him. So that's the best advice I can give you. Don't be shy. Crap ton of healing spells. Have everybody equipped with a bunch of healing spells, especially the ones that heal the entire party, like Heal All, for example. Be sure to do that too. It's a really difficult boss fight. What's the next game you're really looking forward to coming out? It will East 10, I guess. Riddell, use Riddell. Do you have Riddell at that point of the game? It's Riddell, not Riddle. Riddell is a really good mage, but problem with Riddell is that 2 hits and she's dead. And Garai is like abusing physical attacks over and over and over again. But she's one of the best mages in the game. Anyway. You know, Foxhound, I'm happy that you're like nerding out on Wukong. Good for you, man. It's not gonna make me buy it right now. Nah, is it true that Laura in Trails of Cold Steel 1 is overpowered? A lot of characters can be overpowered in that game if you know how to use them and how to equip them. Laura, the problem is that yes, she's overpowered, but she's terrible at magic, and magic attacks against her, you know, are bad. She's that type of character, the tank type of character when it comes to physical attacks. But yeah, she's one of the most powerful characters in the game. Do you think Atlus will remake Persona 1 and 2 anytime soon? I don't know. Recently I got a copyright claim for using the regular battle theme of Digital Devil Saga in one of my Q&As from like 2, 3, 5 weeks ago. I don't remember which one. And usually when companies send copyright claims for songs that they never did before, it's probably a good sign that they are copywriting the entire soundtrack of a game. Why? Because they're probably going to do something with that game. So I'm not trying to get your hopes up. This is not a rumor or anything. Don't go outside. Oh, there's a Digital Devil Saga remaster rumor. No, don't go saying that. You know, it's just weird. It's happened before that all of a sudden, you know, a song that I've used a million times never got a copyright, and all of a sudden I got it and it gets remastered. It happened to me with Legend of Mana. For a while, the entire soundtrack was copyrighted. You couldn't use any song from the soundtrack, and I was like, why? And like some months later, the Legend of Mana remaster was announced. So it's happened before, but this is Atlus we're talking about, so it's hit or miss with those guys, you know, when it comes to remasters. It's actually rare. It's more miss than hit, you know, so that's why I'm trying to say that. But Persona 1 and 2, I don't know, probably, maybe because Persona 2 Eternal Punishment, the entire soundtrack has copyright, you can't use it, so maybe. I don't know. They definitely should remake the first Persona game, but it's also dungeon crawler in first person, so how about they remake it in the style of Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne? I mean, it wasn't a remake, but you know, like, get rid of the dungeon crawling in first person and let me explore freely around. I would probably like it. When do you think game journalism like IGN will fade away? Never. Those sites are way too big. They will always figure it out. Once they realize that nobody gives a shit about their political bullshit, they'll get rid of it. Or they'll fire some journalists and hire others. You know, I don't think they're ever going to go away. Still have to get Visions of Mana. Isn't that releasing in like a few days? Like Thursday or Friday next week? Yeah, but you know what happened to Persona 3 Remake? You know, they altered some of the text and completely censored one scene just for the sake of politics. I don't trust Atlus anymore. I'd rather just have them port their games on a digital format on modern systems than have them remastering or remaking them, because they're gonna alter the script. Atlus of America is gonna fuck them all, every single one of them. Is Tales of Symphonia the sequel any good? It's very good. On the Wii, it's very good. Don't listen to the haters. That's a very good game. So back to Chrono Cross Garai boss fight. I have Harley, Norris, Sprig, Radius, Starkey, Irenes, Fungi, Zappa, and Snef. You got Zappa? Use Zappa in the party, because he can take a few physical hits. Wait, no, Zappa? Who's Zappa? No, I mistook him from Soa. No. I was like, you don't have Soa at that point of the game. No. Who's Zappa? Is that the I forgot who Zappa is. Is that the blacksmith? If it's the blacksmith, then he has a lot of defense, so he can take a few hits. Zappa is the blacksmith, yeah. So Harley is I mean, you're gonna have to remove her from party, man. It hurt me because I love her and she's a badass mage. Unless you get like really lucky, you know, with her and Garai starts focusing on other characters. But yeah. Zappa is a good one, you know, for defense. It's not as good as Soa, but it's a good tank. Fungi is also really powerful. Sprig can be useful if you do the tournament and she can transform into some of the best monsters in the game. Especially if you can have her transform into the monsters like the blue monsters that appear in Marble Town. You know, that's the best advice I can give you. Thank you, Yum Yum. If you were given a choice because of bad circumstances, which one will you choose? Never play video games again, or never write a book again? Damn, man. I think I'm a little bit more passionate for video games, so I will probably give up writing a book. But I will probably be very miserable with either choice. Sprig. I love this song, by the way. If you get a gaming PC, what game will you install on it first? I really haven't thought about that. Stellar Blade, probably. No, I don't have a Steam Deck. No plans on getting one. I don't need it. You can do a loophole and write another media instead. You know, like scripts for my YouTube videos, something I've been doing for several years now. Do you usually collect merch from the video games you've played? No. That's extremely rare. Unless I get them like for like dirt cheap, you know. I have a few miscellaneous items in my collection, but not really. I don't really go after them or look for them. Stellar Blade is not on PC yet. I mean, I was being sarcastic. Did you play Western RPG Rise of the Argonauts? No, it's like Dragon Age Origins, but set in Greek mythology. Oh, gotcha. I like Dragon Age Origins. Isn't T5 Vengeance is cheap right now on Amazon? Well, I already own the original game. I'm fine with it. I don't need Vengeance. I'm gonna get Vengeance when it's like $10, $20 if it's on PS5. I will pay $20, but exclusively for the PS5 version, not the Switch or PS4 version. PS5. Aerith or Tifa, the never-ending question, the most popular waifus in JRPG history. I'm gonna go with Tifa. She's less cliche than Aeris. I'm gonna call it Iris, just to piss some of you off. Iris. I prefer Tifa over Iris. I know it makes you mad. Stellar Blade will come to PC. It's a fact. Just don't know when. Tifa or Lara Croft? Well, nowadays Tifa... Wasn't that Lara Croft lesbian bullshit, you know, got cancelled on... Did it get cancelled on Netflix or something? Give it 2 years? No, man. Hopefully they'll release it in 1 year. So the PS5 version of Stellar Blade can come down in price quicker. Would you rather play handheld or PC? PC. Oh, original Lara Croft. Okay, yeah, I'm still getting Tifa. I'm not really a fan of Tomb Raider, any of the games. In fact, I think I made it not even far. Probably played like 2-3 hours, 3 hours maybe. The reboot. Remember that one on the PlayStation 3 and 360? I played the PS3 version many years ago when I had the store. And I remember, you know, I couldn't put the controller down for like the first couple of hours, you know, and then I felt like I was playing an open world. It wasn't an open world, but I was like, where the fuck do I go? What do I do? And I got lost and turned the game off. So I'm not really a fan of Tomb Raider. And Tifa, I finished the original Final Fantasy VII, the remake, part 1, so I'm a bigger Tifa fan, I guess. But Tifa is not even in my top 20 favorite female characters, not even top 50, man. What are we listening to? Shining Wisdom. Good music, but stay away from this fucking game. I think I can think of at least someone's asking about Cold Steel waifus. There are at least 5 girls in there that I like more than Tifa. Like Laura, for example, Sarah. Who else? Emma. Well, okay, no, Emma versus Tifa. I think I will choose Tifa. But Laura and Sarah are like top tier for me. Thank you, the Flex Zone. Do you think Xenoblade Chronicles X will re-release? There's a lot of interest. There's been a lot of interest from the fans, a lot of pressure. People have asked Tetsuya Takahashi a million times about it. First, they asked him a long time ago. Somewhere, I don't even know if he was on social media or in a public interview, I don't remember. But he was asked about that and he answered that. Porting Xenoblade Chronicles X to the Switch will be really difficult, and there's just not a lot of money or budget for that, saying, well, he may have hinted that there's a possibility that the game will be re-released on the Switch too, on Nintendo's next console, which I'm pretty sure will get announced next year. Like, I'm pretty damn sure Nintendo will announce the new console next year. And we will probably see something related to Xenoblade Chronicles X, so I'm hopeful. That's why I'm still waiting for it. Odin Sphere or Dragon's Crown? Odin Sphere, man. Odin Sphere is a much better game. I fucking love Dragon's Crown, but Odin Sphere is like one of my 5 favorite action RPGs of all time. Risha, I prefer Risha over Tifa as well. Risha. Do you avoid side quests in RPGs? Depends on the game. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends on one. Some RPGs just simply aren't that great enough to inspire me to do side quests. And others are, like some of the Ys games or Shin Megami Tensei games, I always end up doing a bunch of extra stuff in them. But sometimes, I have to skip them. I have to force myself to skip them because I'm on a schedule. I need to finish a specific game to cover it and then move on to the next one, so on. I can't take a lot of time playing RPGs because then I will produce like 1 video per month in this channel. So no, but I don't like rushing them either. Hate rushing games, man. All of those girls are better than Tifa, in your opinion? No. Alisa? No, I prefer Tifa. Emma? Close, but I prefer Tifa. Laura, of course, I prefer Laura. Fi? No, because, she looks really young, and she makes me uncomfortable. But in the later entry, she's more... I feel better looking at her. But during the first 2 games, she was like, oh my gosh, is she like fucking 14? Sarah, of course, is better than Tifa. Yuna, no way. Muse, yeah, she's better than Tifa. Atlania, I have no idea who that is. Noelle, I love Noelle, but I prefer Tifa. Risha, I prefer Risha, of course. How about Ellie? I prefer Ellie over Tifa. I want a Wii U. I want a Wii U, but I want one that is hacked so I can play GameCube. And well, it can automatically play Wii games and Wii U. So imagine, I will do a full playthrough of Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Fuck yeah. A full playthrough in this channel, man. Path of Radiance. So I'll probably do that. So I want a modded Wii U. And I'll probably get one. Hey, new combo. I don't like speedrunning either. It looks stressful rather than enjoyable. I don't think I ever speedrun a game in my life. Maybe Super Mario World. Maybe just that one game, But other than that, no. I don't see the point in speedrunning. Principal Leguin. I prefer Leguin over Tifa. Sherazard? No. I like her sister, you know, the bad girl. Oh my god. Damn! But Sherazard, nah. There's something about her that I don't find attractive. Ellie for Lloyd. I like canon couples. Alicia is a cutie and Laura is a hard one. Who's Alicia? You mean Alisa, right? There's no Alicia. We got a versus episode today with 2 games that I have here. Be patient. You can very easily hack the Wii U. Really? I'll look it up. Will you make a video about the best turn-based JRPGs with... What? What's QTE? In their combat, what's QTE? Who is your ultimate Trails waifu? For me, is Risha. Laura. For me. Have you ever played a PS2 strategy RPG called Ring of Red? No. I don't. I know the game, but I have never played it. Star Ocean 3 versus Suikoden 3? That's not a bad idea. I feel like Star Ocean 3 will win. But, not a bad idea for a versus episode. I have modded a Wii U. It's awesome. Play all my favorite GameCube, Wii U games. I will. Quick time events. Oh, you mean like Legend of Dragoon, you know, or Mario RPG? Well, they are in quick time events, you know, but they are like the precursors of quick time events, right? Yeah. I mean, I like those. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Super Mario RPG. Shouldn't that answer your question? I prefer when the games don't have them, though. You know, but I like them. But to answer your question, making a video about that, I don't know. Like, what's the point? Reading my books is easy? You think it's easy? Wow, you're the first person who's ever told me that. A lot of people find reading some of my books hard, like Nick's Inferno, or Seven Shadows. Ashura's Wrath has one of the best quick time events. Most people haven't played it though. I played that game, and yeah, it's a good one. I liked it. What's your favorite male and female character? Male? I've never been able to decide. In video games, closest I can think of are Oswald from Odin Sphere. Really like Haseo from Dot Hack GU. Stock from Radiant Historia, you know. But I don't really know. Female Harley from Chrono Cross. Lenneth Valkyrie, also a personal favorite. And there's a bunch of them. Velvet from Tales of Berseria. You still haven't played Mass Effect? I played the first one live a long time ago and I didn't like it. Do I drink coffee? Nope. I do like it though, but I don't drink it because it takes my sleep away. I've never played God Hand on the PS2, but I know the game. It's a beat 'em up. Kinda troublesome from what I've seen. Like, it's not that great of a game, but don't trust my opinion, I haven't played it. Lloyd or Rain? Rain for me. Yeah, that Hack GU is very underrated. To be completely honest, yeah, Bandai Namco should do something with the IP, but they just keep teasing us. Remember last year? People have probably forgotten about this, but last year they were like, oh, we're gonna do something with this, you know. There's a website, there's a countdown on the website, remember that? Or was it this year? I don't remember if it was this year or last year, but nothing happened. They did nothing. Thank you, Newcomb. Since you quit Tokyo Xanadu, I personally feel you should give it another chance. The J-pop is only one chapter. Maybe I should do that, you're right, and just skip all the cutscenes. Yeah, I probably will go back to it. Maybe when I quit that game, I was just so fucking tired of that J-pop idol bullshit, you know? So, okay, maybe I'll give it another chance. I haven't completely abandoned that game like for good, you know? We'll see. Best system for collecting JRPGs that is not Switch or PS4. Right now, probably NES. PS2, but like most of them are very expensive nowadays. Not that expensive though. Maybe PS2. You can still find a lot of those, a lot of PS2 JRPGs for cheap. You know, yeah, PS2. I will say PS3 as well, but about half of them are kind of pricey. PS2 or PS3. Though if I have to decide, PS2. You're still in time to collect some of them, but you know, like Xenosaga 2 and 3, forget about those. Suikoden 5, forget about that game. Even Suikoden 3 is kind of expensive. It's up there, you know. But some of them are not that expensive. Some of the best ones. Grow Lancer, forget about it. Every single Grow Lancer game, they're fucking expensive now. But how about Valkyrie Profile 2 Silmeria? It's still kind of affordable. You know, and some of the ultimate classics, you know, like the must own or whatever, like Final Fantasy X, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, you know, the one, Final Fantasy 12, the original. Those games are available in like 10,000 platforms, even available on platforms that I didn't even know existed. They're available for microwaves and refrigerators and calculators as well. So, of course, the vanilla versions are like $10 or less, $5. What else? You got Wild Arms 3, which is fairly cheap. 4 and 5, forget it. Forget it, man. And then you got like, let me look at my collection. Persona 3 and 4. I'm assuming you live in North America because the PAL versions are freaking expensive. You can still find them for a reasonable price, $30 maybe, Persona 3 and 4. Especially FES, which is the best version. Vanilla Persona 3 is kind of expensive, but why would you want to collect that one? You know, you got the FES version, which is much better. Yeah. Grandia 2, still kind of affordable. Grandia 3, not so much, but maybe. The Tales games are not that expensive yet. I don't know how much Tales of the Abyss and Tales of Legendia go for, but I don't think they're like 50 or 60 bucks. I don't think so. The Atelier Iris trilogy, kind of forget about them. Same with Mana Khemia. Ark, The Lad, Twilight of the Spirits, Rogue Galaxy. Those two games are laughably cheap, man, and they're very good. Ark, The Lad is a really good game. Anyway, you get the idea. Original Odin Sphere, you know, that's like a $10 game, 20 max. So yeah, you're still in time to get a crap ton of PS2 JRPGs. Maybe not some of the very best ones, you know, but most of them are still very affordable. That's my answer to you. PS2 is still a good time to jump into it, you know, but you're gonna have to forget about some of the big ones like Xenosaga, Shadow Hearts, you know, Suikoden 5. Yeah, unfortunately. Even the Dot Hack trilogy, because of the remaster, the trilogy went down in price like crazy. I've seen them for like $10, $20 each, all 3 games. GU, okay, not the first 4 games. Maybe just the first one is still cheap of the others. Anyway, yeah, PS2, man. Hey, Johnny BG. Dude, it's been like, what, like fucking forever since I last saw you, man. Opinion on Arc Rise Fantasia plus FFCC Echoes of Time. What the hell is FFCC Echoes of Time? I don't know what that is. But Arc Rise Fantasia is a really good game. It's a very difficult grindfest game, but it's really good. Watch my video from 2 days ago. I just stood up for the game. Don't tell me a lot of you missed the video. Because, well, probably YouTube shadow banned it, I don't know. But hopefully you watched the video. It's called 10 more great JRPGs destroyed by critics. Maybe YouTube doesn't want me to criticize journalists. you should go for the 108 stars of Destiny. You should definitely do that because you unlock a new character in that route. It's like really cool. It's pretty short, but that's a really cool arc, small arc. I really liked it, so it's definitely worth it. If you have a lot of games, do you have tips on what to keep and what to get rid of from your collection? Currently, I have no tips because it seemed kind of impossible for me to sell something online. Usually my best tip is to get rid of everything you don't want or that all those doubles you got, you know. But preferably keep the ones that are kind of that you know for a fact are going to go rare. The ones that are like really rare and you don't want to keep them, maybe it's a good idea to get rid of them now. Because prices have been a little bit like this, you know, and I fear they may start going down for some games and up for others. So it's double-edged sword, you know, but the best way to get rid of your games is just resell them somewhere. Post them on the marketplace or something, you know, or eBay, whatever. But I can't do that. I can't give you better tips because ever since I moved here, ever since I came back from Canada, I've lived in faraway locations, you know, and it's just impossible to meet with the buyer for me or to go video game hunting. There's rumors that Expedition 33 has a big cast of playable characters like Suiko, and that's fucking awesome. Now I'm a bit more interested in the game. Trinity, that's a great game. Watch part 1 of 10 great JRPGs destroyed by critics. I covered that game. Recommend me some nice action RPGs to play on my Switch. How about you play the Xenoblade Chronicles games? Or the Ys games. What? No. The Ys games, Ys 8 and 9, they don't perform very well on the Switch. Unless you don't care about performance, you know. If you don't really care that much about graphics and frame rate, those two games are a must play, right? But I will prefer you will play them on the PS4 if you have a PS4. But if you're stuck on the Switch, or you already played the Tales and Ys ones. What Tales ones? There's only one. Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles, man. Or if you want hack and slash because the Xenoblade Chronicles you can't directly control your character. The Dot Hack GU trilogy, man. That's on Switch. I forgot about it. Yeah, the entire trilogy is on Switch. And it's one of the best ones. Astral Chain, that's a really good one too. Definitely pick that one up. There are actually 2 Tales games on Switch. One is a remake though. You mean Symphonia? Those are remasters. There are no remakes. You mean Symphonia and Vesperia? Okay, yeah, they're not remakes. They are remasters. Well, Symphonia is like, is it really a remaster? More like a demaster? I had recommended playing PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 JRPGs. The Legend of Heroes Trails Code. What music is this? Like right now, it's from Terra Enigma. The overworld theme. What do you do for a living other than being a content creator? I'm an author. Link to my books in the description. They are on Amazon. I barely make any money out of that, but it helps, you know. So speaking about my books, a new book is in the works. Finally. There was one in the works, but I hadn't. It's just in 2021 or 20, when was it? Many years ago, I wrote a story about a vampire that slowly starts losing his mind. You know, very specific story. You know, it's just you're probably gonna see like interview with the vampire. No, nothing to do with it. Like no other vampire story out there. Actually, this was very different. But I wrote the story already. So maybe what I should do is just remaster that story or rearrange it, you know, like not rewrite it, just copy paste everything that I wrote and maybe add or remove a few things, just edit it, do some edits to it and publish it. So, but I got so obsessed with that story, caught up with that story, that I really wanted to write that one or rewrite it again, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it again. There was no motivation. I was like, man, it's just, every time I thought about it, I was too lazy to start writing it. But now I got a new idea, which is gonna be like very politically incorrect, and it's gonna be a big fuck you to what's going on nowadays. But it's not gonna be taking place in a modern setting. It's gonna be a medieval setting, medieval fantasy setting. But the world is like the one we're living in today, like full of political bullshit, And I really want to dive into that with new characters that I've never written before, completely new. And I already got my main character in my head, girl, and she's gonna be like super offensive, and super cynical and kind of psychopathic. So I'm really excited about this new idea. So I just want to tell you guys that a new book is in the works. For fans of my books. And if you didn't know I was a writer, link to my books in the description. They're all very different though. I think some of the people here in the chat can testify that there's that one book that they were like, oh, this is really good, but then they read the other one, it was like, what the fuck? Yeah. Do you think this confusion with describing remix remasters is getting annoying? I have a video, yeah, that's right, Baja K. Read Baja K's comment. I made a video about that on my main channel. Look it up. The previous song, there was no track naming. Oh, I can't go back because this is in random order. So, I don't know. This is from Jeanne d'Arc. What are you listening to lately? Well, currently, since I don't go out often, in fact, I barely go out at all of my house, most of the music that I listen to are music that I can play on the guitar. So I've been playing a lot of really different bands, like Deftones. I've been playing some Nirvana songs, because they're easy to play. Some of them, not all of them. 9 Inch Nails, the usual bands, of course, but some really obscure bands like Seraphim Shock, Freedom Call, like Hum. Hum isn't that obscure, but it's more like a forgotten band. It was pretty popular in the 90s. What's going on? These fucking songs, man. Anyway, Deftones have some pretty damn heavy riffs, bro. Love them. Me too, man. Holy shit, man. I can easily play some of my favorite riffs right now. It will be a blast. You're also a gamer hermit? I am not a gamer hermit because I want to. It's not by choice. It's because I live in the middle of nowhere. And I have no vehicles. Not even a bike. I'm a pretty social guy, Great, Joshua. Good for you. Sword of Mana for the Game Boy Advance was the first game in the Mana series and the console overall that I've ever played, and despite of its console limitations, I've had a lot of great memories, to be honest. I barely touched that game. I know it's a remake of Adventures of Mana, which was originally released on the Game Boy, the first Mana game ever made. That Sword of Mana is a remake of the first Mana game ever made, but I don't think I've ever... I think I played a little bit of it, just for the tier list video that I did on the Game Boy Advance last year. Or was it this year? Well, it was this year. Yeah. For those who missed it, I made a tier list video of every single JRPG released on the Game Boy Advance outside of Japan. This year, look it up. How many games do you reckon you've completed in total? I don't know, man. I haven't counted them. Couple hundred at least. At the very least. 200-300 maybe, I'm pretty sure. More than that, I don't know. Speaking about that, if you go into the description of this video, you will find a link to my blog, my website. It's called Erick Landon RPG blog. And click on it, and there's a section that says RPG scores. And I've ranked over 120 right now. There's 120 RPGs scored in there just for fun. You're not gonna find any ads, or it's not a trick to make you buy something or whatever. Just for fun. Just click on it if you're interested in seeing how high or low I rank some RPGs. Just go there. You'll get a surprise on some games that I rank higher than you probably thought, or lower than you probably ever thought. But they're all because, like for example, this game has a great story but not so great gameplay, and also the other way around, stuff like that. But the overall scores are in there. 120 RPGs ranked. Link in the description. Did you see anything from Gamescom? No. I don't give a shit about Gamescom. So you don't live in the urban zones of Jalisco? Not anymore. This area is pretty urban. Urban. I don't know how to pronounce it. Urban. But not really. Is Triangle Strategy a good game? A very good game, actually. Very good game. Sakura Wars music. Love it. What do you think of we already talked about that, Asia. You missed it. There's probably going to be a clip from my second channel. A good example of the JRPG being trashed by critics, Batten Kaitos, for example. Batten Kaitos wasn't... I considered Batten Kaitos for my video 2 days ago. And I didn't include it because it wasn't that destroyed by critics, Sure, the ranking is a little bit lower than I would have preferred, of course. But it's not like it got a 6 out of 10, Thank you again, the Flex Zone. Do you replay any RPGs every year? Which ones? I used to do that a lot before I became a YouTuber. I don't have a luxury anymore. But I have replayed through the entirety of my career a couple of them, like Shin Megami Tensei 5, the original, Code Vein, but because I wanted the true endings. But I used to do that maybe not every year, but every couple of years I will replay the Suikoden games, all of them, or Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy IX, Valkyrie Profile 2, Silmeria, some of my favorites, every 2-3 years, we'll jump back into them and beat them again. But that was ages ago. What would you rather play, retro or modern JRPGs? Nowadays, retro. Or maybe not so retro, like from 2023 and below. Because this year, translations went to hell. If you do not have a documentation for your game collection, there is a free mobile app known as... Oh, how much did they pay you to advertise that, man? I don't need one because I only have 350 plus games. I don't have that many, I don't need a documentation or anything. Damn dogs, man. There's a dog gang living in the construction across the street. And it's like an entire family. Like dad, mom, and 4 little fuckers. They aren't that little anymore. They've been living there since last year. And whenever they start hanging out, nearby, every single fucking dog in the block starts barking at them. And what do you do, man? You call the dog people? How do you call them in English? The people who pick up dogs and put them for adoption, and if they don't, nobody adopts them, they fucking kill them. Nobody wants to call them here because they know that's what happens. Man. They have a name, a common name. Dog pound? No, it's just the people, who... Yeah. I don't know if it's called dog pound, but you know what I mean, right? Animal control. Yeah, something like that, So you call them and they take them away, and if nobody adopts them, they fucking kill them. So they've been living there since last year, and nobody wants to pick them up or adopt them. I mean, it's sad, but it's annoying, but it's sad. It's like we talk to the administrators here, to the people here, the administration, and they're like, oh yeah, we can call these the dog chasers, the dog catchers if you want. No. But what do you want us to do? How are the dogs? I should have taken a picture of them. I went to the store last night to pick up some groceries, and I was handling them in my backpack and the plastic bags and whatnot. They approached me like dogs. 3 of them, the 3 white ones that I've shown before in some videos, like there, like in front of me. Mac. No, dude, I'm not gonna give you anything. No, just go away. I should have filmed them. Do you think if Japanese companies release their JRPGs with Japanese voices only, with one-on-one translations, then these games reviewers probably wouldn't trash them as hard? What? One-on-one translations? What is that? What do you mean by one-on-one translations? Do you think every classic JRPG needs a remake, or is it lazy and taking advantage of nostalgia? Both. We don't need every single JRPG remade, or remastered. The problem the reason why a lot of people want everything remastered nowadays is because of physical media. Because if you want to go back and replay some of those awesome games, either they didn't age very well, nothing to do with physical media, or they're expensive. Most people can't afford them or just don't want to buy them. They're like, oh man, I've heard great things about Xenogears, so I have a PS1, so how much is it? $150 fucking dollars. So that during the pandemic created a problem, That's why people are so obsessed nowadays with everything being remade or remastered. They want everything remastered, everything. Because of that, because they just don't want to go back to the older systems because they aren't that cheap anymore. 10 years ago, you could easily find a Super Nintendo for like $20, man. And nowadays, like 50 plus, if you're lucky, and every fucking classic game, it's like, dude, that's why people want everything remastered. So it's not exactly being lazy or capitalizing on nostalgia, even though that's what most companies are doing. It's more about making these games return so they can be available for people for a more acceptable price. Sure, at the beginning they're gonna cost like $40, so you'd rather just go back and play the original, But eventually these remasters or remakes get down to $20, And that's easier than going to buy the original. Like, I don't know, a random example is Star Ocean, the second story R. The original PS1 version is like $80 or $70, man. And there's also the PSP version, which is also expensive and rare. So what you need to do is buy a PS1, buy a controller, buy the original Star Ocean, the original PS1 version, and you just blew up like over $100. Whereas if you already have a PS4, PS5, or Switch, the remake right now, I don't know how much it goes for, but it's like 40 or 50. So you just do the math, right? That's why people are so obsessed with the remasters and remakes nowadays. It's not just out of nostalgia or laziness. There is some laziness in there, is. So a lot of games have been remastered and ported, whereas the original version is sort of a laughable price. Like it's $10. Like why can't you just go and buy yourself, if you have a PS3, why can't you buy Star Ocean The Last Hope? It's $10 instead of buying the remaster, but the remaster on PS4 is like $5 most of the time, it's always on sale. So I think it's a commodity, right? But it's mostly because of that, because people just don't want to go back and buy the console, or even if they have the console, they just don't want to plug it in because they have it in a box somewhere and they don't have a lot of room for it. And yeah, I mean, it will be a pain in the ass just to take out the old PS2 just to play the original Rogue Galaxy when you can play it, you just already have your PS4 plugged in and Rogue Galaxy is there for $5. So maybe, yeah, laziness, commodity, the comfort of it, has a lot to do, but I think it's mostly because of prices, because of availability, the lack of availability. You know, that's what's making everybody go insane about remasters and remakes nowadays. And that's why I think they should continue. Thank you, Deflex Sound, once again, for the third time. You think you'll ever fall out of a lot of RPGs? I don't think so. Probably never. Maybe I'll get tired or burned out at some point, and maybe I'll quit for a short period of time, but I'll always come back. I don't think I'll ever get tired of them. I love them. It's probably my biggest passion ever. Music and RPGs, I don't think I'll ever get tired of that. How did you go on with the Mary Skelter games or the Demon's Gaze? Well, I don't have a strong opinion on Demon's Gaze. Couldn't get into them. Don't really like them. Not a fan. They're good games. And I have recommended them before. But I'm always like, I recommended, but it's not my cup of tea. Mary Skelter was a little bit my cup of tea, but again, same genre. You missed the beginning of the stream where I explained why I can't get into most dungeon crawlers in first person. So what was that question about one-on-one translations? Just real quick, Asia, yes, it should be a wake-up call for the Western gaming industry. It should be a wake-up call. Anyway, so he means the same they say in Japanese, say it in English, by the dubbers in English. Is that what you mean by that question? I'll just wait for the guy to rephrase his question or explain it. Please remake Stellar Blade for PS5 Pro. Remake it? Why? It just released 2 months ago. Xenogears was expensive before the pandemic. But between and after it, the game became super expensive. That's true. Or you can just use emulation, people. You don't have to pay for any remasters. That's right. Emulate and everything's free. Which is worst, Suikoden 4 or Ephemeral Fantasia? How dare you? Suikoden 4 is a really good game. How dare you compare Suikoden 4 with that piece of shit, man? Exactly, not every JRPG needs to be remastered or remade. Just a port. Just grab... You know what Sony did with Jeanne d'Arc? That was fucking genius. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna grab the old game, upscale the graphics, and there you go for $10. A lot of JRPGs should get that treatment. They don't really need a remaster or a remake. Because when they remaster them or remake, it's because they aged poorly or because it wasn't the definitive version they wanted to release back then. But 9 out of 10 times, remasters and remakes are just there to get them more expensive and capitalize on your nostalgia and your laziness, right? But yeah, a lot of JRPGs don't really need that. They just fucking put them on the digital on PS5, PS4, Switch, Xbox One, and that's it, $10. Most laughable JRPG for you. Laughable like comedic and funny? Or laughable as in pathetic and cringe, what do you mean? As someone who's fluent in English, do you have this problem where you forget the word from your native language? I do that all the time here. I just did that with the dog catchers thing, Oh, okay. Okay, I get your question now. I forget the native word, the word in Spanish, and yeah, it happens to me a lot. Why this is a trailer.
I want to help. Can I get with you?
Fuck it. Fuck. Oh man, I need to pay more attention on what I pick for the music for the Q&As. Yes, Eikichi, that happens to me more often than you think. It's sad. And when that happens, some people are like, yeah, he knows English, he's bilingual, so oh, man. Come on. But it happens. It happens to my sister as well, We often forget the word in Spanish, because we're so used to saying it in English, Your brain, when you're bilingual, your brain often thinks in both languages, right? So yes, it happens. Do you know if there are any plans of a Scarlet Nexus 2? No. It could become a series, or it could have sequels, but I don't think Bandai Namco is going to turn that into an IP. I think some JRPG devs will start using AI to self-translate so Western localizers can ruin their games. Well, hopefully AI won't ruin it either. Won't ruin them either. Chrono Trigger is available on SNES, PS1, DS. What isn't Chrono Trigger available on? Switch and PS4, which is what most people want. Will you ever make audiobooks of your books? That will be too expensive. I could voice them, but I will feel fucking uncomfortable voicing the girls. And even some of the guys, you know, I have no clue how to voice them when it comes to dialogue. I can narrate them, no problem, you know, but reading the dialogue? I don't know. And then I will have to hire someone to do the voice acting, you know, and that's money involved and it's not worth it, you know. It's not like I have 1,000 people lined up ready to buy the audiobook version of Terra Gaiden. It's just not gonna happen, man. I'm not that... I'm a starving writer. I sell like 5 books a month on Amazon if I'm lucky. A month. Best comedy JRPG. Is that what Susu was asking about? Like someone was asking about laughable JRPG or something, you know. Yeah, Susu was asking about laughable JRPG. Was that like the best like comedy? Or I don't know. Thanks again, the Flex Zone. This is like the 5th donation. Thanks, buddy. Is Loop 8 really that bad? What system do you own? I will make a video in 1 or 2 weeks when I'm going to review Loop 8. And then once you watch that video, you can make your decisions about it. I own it on the PlayStation 4. I'm not gonna say anything about Loop 8 right now because there's just a lot of things to say about that game. Yeah, it's a common problem, Eikichi. Don't feel bad about it. I know maybe people will make fun of you or think you're being an asshole or a braggart, but not really, you know. Everybody who's bilingual and talks often in both languages, like me, you know, we forget words of our own language, you know. It's normal. That's how the brain works. The more you learn a second language, the more you start thinking on the second language. Do you think Breath of Fire 3 deserves a remake or a remaster? It just needs a re-release. No remake or remaster. Just do what... The same like with Jeanne d'Arc, you know, or Kingdom of Paradise. You know, just pour it for $10 on the PlayStation Store and that's it. Laughable because he's so bad. Okay, so laughable, cringe. Yeah. Well, I made a video called 10 JRPGs you should never play. Check that video out, you'll get 10 of those. They're like laughable. Like that's so fucking terrible, man. It's so unbelievably bad. What's your most anticipated JRPG? East 10. This year is 10. Next year, I don't know if the 100 line or the Fate Extra remake. One of those two. Though I'm a bit afraid of the Fate Extra remake. I'm afraid he's gonna be woke. Oh, finally you clarified your question. Okay, so do I think it's better that the Japanese... what was the question again? But you mean release JRPGs with Japanese only voices and accurately translate, not localize what's being said? Yes. That should be the case every time. Even if the translation is even if the dialogue feels kind of weird enough, that should always be the case. Never mind localization or translation, you know. Whoever is translating the game should try to be as faithful as they can to the original script. Do not do the NIS America 505 games or even working fucking designs. Don't do that. I don't give a shit about Metaphor Reef and Tasia, man. What is the most important tip for Eternal Poison you wish you knew before playing it? The roots thing. You can get yourself locked in a bad ending or a bad route if you don't know what you're doing. Luckily, I suspected that happened. When that happened to me, I was in time to pick another route, or the good route, you know, because I read it online. So that it didn't happen to me. But Yeah, I wish I would have known that, to avoid wasting my time in a route that was locked into a bad ending or a bad route. It's just, yeah. You can just get yourself locked in a bad ending, and that's it, with one character, and there's nothing you can do except restart the whole game. If you saved right before it, you're fucked. So yeah, I don't say this often in my videos when I cover that game, but I should say it more often. Play Eternal Poison with a guide. Penny Blood next year, right? I don't know. Nothing's been confirmed. Is there a lot of English speakers in Mexico? Yes. I'd say about 20-30% of the country speaks English. Maybe not that fluently, but they do. Especially the people living in the borders, for fuck's sake. Yeah. Maybe more, man. Maybe like 30-40%, dare I say, but that's a stretch. Ancient Roman Power of the Dark Side for the PS1 is just a laughable game. I haven't played that one. Yes, I mean the map selection on Eternal Poison. Eduardo, you can accidentally lock yourself in a bad ending. And that's it. Yeah, play it with a guide. I mean the map selection. You agree with Ragnar Tactics, that's awesome. Thank you for mentioning my video from 2 days ago. In Sweden, it's like 90% of English speakers. Wouldn't surprise me. A lot of Europeans speak English. They have to. I removed the guild from you. Just play with a guide. What's wrong with play? I mean, that game kinda needs a guide. You won't be able to figure it out for yourself. It's like Suikoden, man. Play Suikoden and recruit 108 characters out of your fucking ass. Blind. It's impossible. You're not gonna know where they are. You need a guide. Those games are made for you to use a guide. There's no shame in that. I'm a huge defender of The Last Hope, the Flex Zone. Fucking love that game. It's one of my favorite Star Ocean games. Any bad endings you like more than the good true ending? Yeah. I just beat... No, this is not an example. But I don't regret anything. I beat Soul Trigger on the PSP yesterday, last night actually. And there's 3... Well, they have the same ending. But there's a small variation between the 3 endings. Okay? And the 3 endings are based on which girl you marry on the first arc. Okay? So I picked Sophie. And I don't regret it. But the ending I got wasn't that good. You gotta pick one of the 3 girls. There's one girl in specific that you gotta choose to get... You get the same ending, but it's a little bit more positive without spoiling the game too much, But I don't regret it. But that's not the answer to your question. Bad endings that I prefer. I don't know. I can't think of one right now. I feel like there's that one, there's gotta be one that I can't think of right now. That... Yeah, man, it's like, is it too loud? If it's too loud, let me know. The music's too loud. So, I don't know, man. I feel like there has to be like one bad ending that is actually kind of more... There are some endings in Chrono Cross that might be a little bit better than the canon ending. I don't know. Anyway, can't think of one right now. Have you played any of the Bloody Roar games? Yes, I have. Not really a fan, but I like them. I like the girls in there. What did you think of the Agarest games? I've covered the Agarest games many times before. The first one is good. The second one is also good. 0 is bad. Thanks, Yum Yum. Speaking of guides, they are getting very expensive. You mean like the Brady games and stuff? Guides like that? I didn't know they were very expensive. Maybe a lot of people are buying them and collecting them nowadays. Why else will they be expensive? No need to apologize, man. I still answer the question. I just gave you the overall run. Sanji gifted 5 memberships to Elliot Wheelerman, Kiganchu, Zima Duvant, Hong Luong, and Matinao. Thank you, Sanji, for doing that. Appreciate it. Do you feel glad when summer is ending in August and the weather cools down? I feel fucking great. Very good. Agarest Generations of War, also known as Record of Agarest War. That's a good game. It's the same game. It's just, I don't know what happened then. Here's the thing about Agarest. When the game came out in Japan, it was available on the Xbox 360, Steam, and PlayStation 3. Okay? But for some reason, two different people, two different teams, companies localized each version. So the company who localized the Xbox 360 version released it in North America and Steam, I believe, and Windows, and called it Record of Agarest War, which is the actual name. But the assholes, I think it was Axis Games, who localized the game to Europe on the PlayStation 3, renamed it as Agarest Generations of War, probably to avoid confusion with Record of Lodoss War, which is a very popular anime series and it's very popular in Europe. So they called it Agarest Generations of War, but it's the same game. Different name, same game. And the PS3 version was never released in North America, just in Europe. But your PS3 is region free, so you can just buy that version for dirt cheap and play it on your PlayStation 3. That's what I did. I bought my PS3 copy used for like $5. You know, that's how I played it on my PS3. PS3 is region free, remember that. And then the game got a remaster on Switch. And I think also on PS4, I could be wrong, it's on Switch on Steam. Switch and Steam was released 2 years ago, maybe 1-2 years ago. And it retained the original name, which is Record of Agarest War. So again, it's the same game, okay? Just remastered. I haven't played that remastered version, so I can't comment on it. What are your thoughts of Dragon Age? I don't give a shit about Dragon Age anymore. It's fucking woke. Dragon Quest 12. Not sure I'm looking forward to that game anymore. I do live in Jalisco. In Guadalajara. Yes, your PS3 version is European. It should have like a PEGI rate. In the ESRB, no ESRB, it's PEGI. It's crazy, I know. Will we have a debate today? Yeah, we're about to start in a few minutes with the Versus episode. Idea Factory now fully remaking Neptunia games. Oh, really? Huh. I didn't know they were doing that. The Japanese commercials for the original Xbox and Xbox 360 are awesome to watch. I've never seen one. Will you continue doing the top 10 Rage Quit game series? Oh, the Rage Quit videos. I don't know. I want to, but this website, you know how things are. I don't know. Radiata Stories, man. That was a great game. It's starting to show its age, though. Wait, fell seal on the PlayStation Store. If you want to get it now or wait for a price drop. How much is it right now? I'm not paying more than $10 for it. Hey, Oscar. What's up, man? What is, in my opinion, the best exclusive JRPG released on Xbox platforms across all generations? That will be Lost Odyssey. Because some of the other ones that are like really freaking good are now available on other platforms, like Nier. Nier was PS3, Xbox 360, and now Replicant exists on PS4 and Xbox One. So, and then there's Tales of Vesperia. Again, it's multi-platform now. There's also Star Ocean: The Last Hope. Again, multi-platform nowadays. And well, the original Xbox had like 1 or 2 RPGs, which are like Blackstone, which we played in a video. Remember that? Blackstone, Magic and Steel. But I don't think it's Japanese. I think it's a Taiwanese RPG. That one's still exclusive to the Xbox, but it's not that good of a game. It's not that great. It's a good one, but not that great. And then there's Metal Dungeon. That's a bad game. Still exclusive to the original Xbox, but it's bad. Xbox One has 0 exclusive JRPGs to it. So yeah, Lost Odyssey is still exclusive to the Xbox 360. It is an excellent game. So across all platforms, Xbox platforms, Lost Odyssey is definitely the best one. Infinite on Discovery too, that's a good one, but Lost Odyssey is much better. There's also Blue Dragon. Again, Lost Odyssey is the better game. $30 now? Fuck no, man. I can buy 2 physical games with that money. No, I'll probably wait until it's like $10. I really want to play that game. Fail Seal looks really good, like a grid-based strategy RPG, pretty unique. I want to play it, but 30? Why the hell did no one ever make a sequel to Radiata Stories? I think the reason is because it was never meant to be. I don't think Tri-Ace, the developers, planned the game to have a sequel. Yeah, I know the ending, let's not spoil the ending, but I know the ending leaves room for a sequel, right? But I don't, it never felt like it was made to become a sequel or a series or something. It should be though, I will play the fuck out of it, but it was just never meant to have a sequel or become a series of its own or something. It was just to be a standalone, self-contained video game and that's it. There were no plans for that. And there, unfortunately, there's a lot of love for Radiata nowadays, but maybe not enough to make enough noise for Tri-Ace and Square Enix to realize that people want a sequel or a remaster or whatever, Definitely Lost Odyssey is a great game. Okay. Have you played it yet? A turn-based RPG? I do remember Blackstone, of course, it was one of the first gameplay videos with it. Yes, it was. But we didn't do that video for Discusión Gamer. We did that video for my channel, for this channel, when I was still doing reviews in Spanish. I think that's how it went, yeah. Well, that was the first video we did together, but it was for this channel. And then I took it down and re-uploaded it on Discusión Gamer, so it's there. So if you people want to see Oscar and me playing Blackstone, Magic and Steel on the Xbox, go to our channel in Spanish, Discusión Gamer, and you'll see it there. It's a good game. Has good fan service. Oh man, Radiant Historia similar to Radiata. No, they have nothing to do with each other. No. They have similar names, but no, different games, completely different games. That's fucked up, that's right. Xenosaga Episode 2 in Europe. What about the first one, the third one? That was a bad idea. That's Namco. I know I've complained about Namco a lot in this channel, but Namco is a bit like, it's not like Sega, not on that level, but they can be a bit like Sega, and they've been like that for decades. Sometimes they make these decisions are like, why the fuck did you do that? Why the fuck would you do that? That's just that's Sega level of stupidity. What's my opinion about dungeon crawling games? I already answered that question at the very beginning of this stream. Rewind. Remember Rewind? Remember VHS tapes? Anubis the Red. What's wrong with you, man? You probably haven't gotten a single notification. I've been doing a full playthrough of Jeanne d'Arc on the PS5 live in this channel. It saddens me. I'm not angry at you. I'm just angry at the fact that YouTube doesn't notify anybody of anything I do nowadays. Why do you think the original Xbox and Xbox 360, especially the latter, had so many Japanese exclusives? I think it's because Microsoft really wanted to take the market outside of North America and to the rest of the world. And they made a lot of deals with Japanese developers. But I don't know much about that. Maybe Oscar knows more than me about that. We should make a video about that, man. That's a good topic for Discussion Gamer. Eric, you said earlier people want remasters because of laziness. I said a lot of things, not just laziness. Laziness is one reason. But also old consoles stopped working properly. I feel you there. My PS2 works whenever nowadays. It works whenever the fuck it wants. Because I made a video, remember, I don't know if you watched it. Maybe YouTube didn't notify you of this video. I made a top 50 best longest JRPGs ever. And I had to plug in my PS2 again after so many years just to check on my memory cards and see which games I put like more than 40 or 50 hours into it. So I did that, and I wanted to check how many hours I put on Xenosaga 3, how many hours it took me to beat, but the game wouldn't work even though it's in pristine condition, mint condition, the disc. It wouldn't work. And then I put Xenogears, which is a PS1 game, and it worked like this, first try. And then I put other PS2 games and they just wouldn't work. Others did, others didn't. Physical original media. So yeah, my PS2, yeah, that's another reason why people want everything remastered. Like, I'd love to play Xenosaga 3. Again, just that one. I don't have to go back to the first 2 episodes. It will serve as context, but not really. I remember the story, but I can't because my PS2 doesn't work. You prefer Sony or Nintendo JRPGs? I think I prefer Sony JRPGs. PlayStation, or the PlayStation version. Do you like fighting games like Street Fighter or King of Fighters? Yes, I do. Street Fighter, I like the old ones. No offense to Oscar here. I don't like the newer ones. Like Street Fighter Alpha and before, everything before that. Street Fighter Alpha, great game from that era and below. King of Fighters, I'm still a fan. Yeah. Sounds like a good topic for sure. We need to record new content. Oh yeah, we do. Haven't uploaded anything in like a month. We need to do some videos, man. Yeah. I saw a top 50 video. Now you can't complain I don't watch him. Damn. Can't complain. You got a question, Oscar? Do you prefer Jeanne d'Arc or Stella Glow? Jeanne d'Arc. Stella Glow, I never finished that game, so... But Stella Glow has a lot of chibi, dumb, stupid comedy on it. It's a good game, you know, but I prefer Jeanne d'Arc. It's just darker and edgier. You think the Third Strike is bad? The Third Strike is the Dreamcast game? That's a great game. But... That was after Street Fighter Alpha? Maybe the Third Strike is the last great Street Fighter game for me. I like old King of Fighters over new ones. Me too, actually. The King of Fighters 13 was a great game. Even 12, I have 12 on the PS3, it's a good one. That's right, this is Devil Survivor. Dead or Alive. Who doesn't like Dead or Alive? What kind of man of culture doesn't like Dead or Alive? And they're good games, you know. Forget about the fan service, you know. The fighting is good, the controls are good. I'm not really that a big fan of 3D fighters, but I like those. 5 was great. 2 was great. Extreme Volleyball. We gotta do the versus episode now. Thanks, Jum Jum. Why is King of Fighter 99 not on the PS2? I don't know, man. Rival Schools on PS1. Check out Destrega. Destrega on PS1. It's kind of wacky and janky, but for some reason it's very addictive. It's very good. Destrega on PS1. So yeah, you guys ready? You guys ready for this? You guys ready for this? Well, we got 2 Switch exclusives for the Versus episode. Well, one of them is also on Steam. Okay? But the other one is exclusive on the Switch. Nowhere else can you play it. I really wanted to make an episode to include this game because I didn't in a specific episode that we did before. It's all about triangle strategy and Fire Emblem Three Houses right now. Today, we got these two guys here. These two very popular strategy RPGs in recent years. I know I know I don't have a lot of Fire Emblem fans, but I think Three Houses is up there, considered as one of the best. So I want to see your thoughts on this. Two grid-based tactical RPGs. Let's do the poll. Triangle Fire Emblem Three Houses versus Triangle Strategy. Alright, so Fire Emblem Three Houses Triangle Strategy. Start poll. There you go, people. Vote me. I have no idea what's gonna happen. This isn't like some of the previous episodes we've done, where I was completely sure one will win over the other. Like the last one, Rogue Galaxy, you know? Right now, I really thought about this one. I was like, I have no clue what's gonna happen. I don't know. Maybe Three Houses out of popularity, but I don't know. Look, it's pretty fucking even. This is my favorite type of poll. The ones that are like this, pretty even. You know, like a Final Fantasy X versus Persona 4 we did. That was fucking bonkers. Secret of Mana versus Super Mario RPG. That was insane. Wow. Pretty fucking even. What about your argument? Sivo Rev. I don't do collabs anymore because people are afraid to collab with me since I'm blacklisted on YouTube. I didn't know that Turtle Power, I didn't know Valkyria Chronicles 1 Remastered got a physical on Switch by Limited Run Games. But I fucking hate those guys nowadays, so. I don't see a single compelling argument worth reading. But the poll is still pretty even. Oh, Oliver, you want to choose Fire Emblem? Oh, man. And you can't retract your vote, can you? Yeah, you can't. Close voting poll? No? Why would I do that? Fire Emblem because I like grid-based turn-based RPGs. Triangle Strategy is also grid-based. You didn't finish Triangle Strategy? So Aristos says, I didn't finish Triangle Strategy because I found the battle mechanics and system... Oh, I do find the battle mechanics and system better, but I think Three Houses takes the win. Characters, story, and it's Fire Emblem after all. You mean FE, not FF. Baja K says Three Houses because I'm a Fire Emblem addict, like I am. And it has a new take on the Fire Emblem formula, with the monastery being a teacher and bonding with your students. Of course, life simulation and waifus. They blacklisted me, I don't know. We've speculated about that many times before. Probably because I'm too rude and swear and angry when I criticize wokeness and political bullshit. Or probably because I criticize both the right and the left. I don't know, man. Ask them. Maybe they will tell you. They don't want to tell me. That's interesting, Sedgeman. You are correct about that. Eikichi, are you voting for Three Houses then? It's winning. Eikichi says, in Triangle Strategy, I hated the fact that you had to put a character on a loot in order to collect it and losing a turn only because of it. As similar to Tactics Ogre. That's the Tactics Ogre influence. I think Final Fantasy Tactics does the same, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course. I'll be that guy. Unicorn Overlord over both of these games. I wanted to put Triangle Strategy versus Unicorn Overlord, but I didn't because Unicorn Overlord is a fairly new game. Not a lot of people have played it yet or finished it, so I think it's too soon to put Unicorn Overlord against anything, you know? It's just too soon. We should wait like at least a year or at least 6 months, you know? These two games are a bit older, so yeah. I mean, Fire Emblem Three Houses came out like 5 years ago. Michael Thornton says, Fire Emblem Three Houses for me. I feel that the combat is on point. The story is great with 3 branching paths to choose. Music was well done. Triangle did this well, but Fire Emblem was better. Okay. Will Three Houses let you do other routes in New Game Plus, like strategy? Yes. You can do New Game Plus and do the other houses. Hong Luong says Triangle Strategy wins. I find Triangle Strategy a bit more challenging. Graphics is to each their own. Triangle Strategy has better music, requires more planning due to where the characters are facing. And the multi-ending is great. Yes, it is. This song. Vanguard Bandits, people. Someone be that guy and say Vanguard Bandits is better than these two. It's not, actually, but I love it. When are you going to review Trails Through Daybreak? When I get my hands on it. Diego says Fire Emblem wins just because I want to support tactics games with more modern looking type graphics. Okay, a graphical preference, I respect that. Oh wow, I hadn't noticed that, Yum Yum. There's a glitch when you switch third person. Okay, top view, oh, interesting. I played it docked, so... Redemption Reapers is a great game to play. Triangle Strategy is a bit better though. That's your reason, was? Just because Fire Emblem has more history? We're talking about Three Houses. It's specifically that game. Forget about the series. Kevin, have you played Triangle Strategy? Achilles says, Triangle Strategy, of course. I am fed up with all this romancing gibberish. Triangle Strategy is more serious. By the way, the graphics way better than the Three Houses graphics. Okay? You confuse Triangle Strategy with another game. Okay. So I can't read your argument, Kevin. You're giving preference to a game just because you played it. You haven't played Triangle Strategy. You're missing out. Wow! Three Houses is winning! So far. Hong Luong continues saying the multipath and routes is very Langrisser-like. Something Fire Emblem doesn't have. The encampment is more refined compared to Fire Emblem, and after every New Game Plus, the levels is more balanced. Oh, interesting. Title of the song, please. It's called Together by Vanguard Bandits. Come on, you can't see it? Oh no, you can't. I don't know what the fuck happened here. It disappeared at some point, didn't it? Why? I don't know. This is Dragon Quest music. Give me one moment. Everything got fucked up. No, not this one. Oh my god. What the fuck is going on, man? No, what the fuck is going on? Okay, I got it. Jesus Christ. Okay, and now the sound. Are we good now? We should be good now. We should be good now, right? Yeah, we're good. Okay, we're good. It's back. You can hear the music and see the titles. Okay, cool. Alright, so let's keep going. Too many games, that's why I'm confused. I feel you there. Triangle Strategy has... it has strong Matsuno vibes. Really? That's why? Volume is too low. No, it's just a song. Anyway. Yum Yum says, well, for the value of the game, Fire Emblem has more replayability value than Triangle Strategy. Fire Emblem is longer. Okay. Like, really? You think the music is better in Three Houses? Okay. Dead or Alive. I just think, both games have really strong replay value. That's just my opinion. You're welcome, Dunsk. Now, right, you have there's a few minutes left. I haven't played Tekken 8. Where's my phone? Ooh. Left it charging. God damn. Anything else? It looks to me that Fire Emblem Three Houses has won. Which I wasn't expecting, but... Wow. And I can't say that I'm shocked, I didn't know what was gonna happen. I was like, I don't know what's the consensus here, which game is more popular, Aquapazza. Great fighting game. No, I wouldn't. I still wouldn't play Tekken 8. I can't pronounce your name, man. Awigzi says I like Three Houses overall. I remember playing Triangle Strategy, the demo, and I hated the shining grid graphics. It hurt my eyes. Okay. What do you expect? Of course, popular ones are always gonna win. Well, I thought Rogue Galaxy will win because it's more popular than Skies of Arcadia, and Skies of Arcadia destroyed it. Triangle Strategy is a very popular game. Achilles. Achilles. Achilles? How am I supposed to understand how to pronounce your name just because I'm Mexican? The heck, man? Achilles? No Mexican will figure that out, dude. Triangle Strategy will destroy Diofield Chronicles, unfortunately. I mean, I think I like Triangle Strategy a bit more, but Diofield Chronicle is an excellent game. I'm so sad the critics destroyed it. Well, is that it? Diofield will probably win against some other strategy RPGs for sure. A lot of people played it. If it was Redemption Reapers though, that would be like nobody played it. But Diofield, it has possibilities against some games in there. I just have to figure it out to find a good match for it. Exactly, it's a fantastic game. People just need to see the game for what it is. Well, I'm closing the poll. No one else is gonna have an opinion. Nobody else? You got 40 seconds. Unicorn will win. Probably. On these two games. Well, I guess that's it. Just 20 seconds? 20 more seconds? No one? That's okay, everyone's got an opinion. It's over, right? It's over. Ryan says, I'm picking Triangle Strategy because I really enjoy the HD 2D visual style. The pacing of the game was also spot on. I never felt bored or bogged down. In contrast, Fire Emblem's cool stuff was tedious. Alright. So the poll is over. Fire Emblem Three Houses won with 58%. Triangle Strategy lost with 42%. Okay, like I was saying at the beginning, I wasn't expecting anything. This is one of those versus episodes we've done that, to be completely honest, I didn't know which one was gonna win. I wasn't sure, I just wanted to see what were your arguments and which game was the most popular amongst you. So Three Houses a bit more popular. It won. I'm surprised considering I don't have a lot of Fire Emblem fans in this channel, but apparently I do, and they're in favor of Three Houses for some reason. Now, which game wins for me? Well, this may surprise you. You know me, I'm a die-hard Fire Emblem fan, so I should pick Three Houses, right? But nope, I actually prefer Triangle Strategy for very simple reasons. So let's just start with the graphics, which is one of the highlights of both games. Three Houses looks like a big improvement over its 3DS predecessors. It went back to full 3D models and stuff like that, like in the Wii or GameCube era. And the graphics look fantastic on Three Houses, but you know me, I'm a sucker for HD 2D, so of course I give priority to Triangle Strategy. However, if we compare just the art, forget about the in-game graphics, just the art style, I still think I prefer Triangle Strategy. I like the 2D art style. It's like really unique, kind of baroque-ish, more attractive. Whereas Three Houses is more anime-esque, and I think I prefer, Triangle Strategy art style. But don't take me wrong, the ladies look beautiful in Three Houses. Edelgard, you know me, I'm a die-hard fan. I'm in love with her. But I think I still prefer Triangle Strategy. Music, well, it's okay in both. I saw some people saying that the music was better in Three Houses. Okay, I respect that, but to me, neither soundtrack stands out that much. They have good soundtracks, it's good. But it's not, the music on either game is not something that I will listen to outside of the games, to be completely honest. I'm not saying the music is forgettable. It's good, it's solid, but it's not like, wow, fantastic, Not really. So it's a bit of a tie. But I guess I'm gonna go with Triangle Strategy because I always felt like the music was a little bit more dramatic for a dramatic game like Triangle Strategy, right? Well, the story, I prefer, both games have a dark, intriguing political story, mature. But yes, Fire Emblem Three Houses has a lot of nonsensical dialogue, a lot of slice of life, a lot of waifus and romance, and I'm okay with that too. But Triangle Strategy has none of that, and it helps you as the viewer, as the player, to focus more on the story and to appreciate it a bit more. Whereas in Fire Emblem, you just want to get it over with to increase the bonds or to marry the waifu and whatnot. And it's like what is this? In Fire Emblem, for those who don't know, it's always been like this. The waifu system, the wife system, has been there since the very first Fire Emblem in 1990, Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light. Okay, so it's nothing new. But yeah, compare the conversations back then between the guy and the girl to the conversations now in Three Houses, and it's like maybe Idea Factory and Compile Heart wrote some parts of it. So yeah, I'm not trashing the story, it's the reality. Triangle Strategy has the better story, the more mature, dark story, and that's why I preferred it over it. Like, actually, way more. And then the gameplay. Well, Triangle Strategy, you got this replay value. Both games have strong replay value, right? Let's not get into that. It's a tie because of that. But in Triangle Strategy, you have this It's a bit more repetitive than Fire Emblem, because in Fire Emblem you have this cool simulation, the bonding system. You go around, you control your character, you move him around, or her if you pick the girl, Violet. So yeah, it's more dynamic. There's more variety in terms of gameplay mechanics. But Triangle Strategy, if you're a grid-based strategy RPG lover like me, which also Fire Emblem is grid-based, I know that, but it's more engaging, it's more challenging. Someone was saying earlier that you gotta think more, you gotta plan your strategies more, and I love that. I'm a sucker for that. So, man, I love Triangle Strategy. It's just it may not have objectively the better gameplay, because Fire Emblem is maybe more fun to play and longer, But Triangle, I'm staying with Triangle Strategy. If I was ever going to replay a game, I will replay Triangle Strategy over Fire Emblem Three Houses any day. But last but definitely not least, the battle system. I'm a diehard. Fire Emblem has my favorite battle system in any video game in existence. So I'm gonna have to side with Fire Emblem here. It hurts because I love Triangle Strategy. It has a fantastic battle system. The decision making influences the routes and all that jazz. Well, that was part of the gameplay. I also think, going back to the gameplay, I also think Triangle Strategy has the better gameplay because it has different routes and endings. Because you make a lot of decisions, way more decisions, and the scales of conviction mechanic, that's awesome. And Fire Emblem doesn't have them. Instead, you got like school simulation and waifus, right? So it's better in Triangle Strategy. But the battle system alone is the one thing in which I feel Fire Emblem isn't better, but I like it more because I'm biased. Because I adore the battle mechanics in Fire Emblem. But objectively, a little bit more objectively speaking, I think Triangle Strategy has better battle mechanics. They're more interesting, more intuitive, more engaging, more challenging. And once again, not to sound like a broken record, but you gotta plan a bit more. It's just more strategic than Three Houses. And that's it. So Triangle Strategy wins for me, despite being a hardcore Fire Emblem fan. I know it's a surprise, but I'm sticking to my guns here. Triangle Strategy is definitely the better game, but not by much. Three Houses is also excellent. Thanks for participating, everybody. And that'll be all for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. And I mean it. The stream is also over. The Q&A is over. Thank you for attending the Q&A, for asking your goddamn questions. And thanks for hanging out. As always, see you next Sunday with another Versus episode. And an hour and a half or more of your goddamn questions. See you later, everybody. Take care. Oh, it's a great song to end the stream.